That's how I line it up. So, welcome to Twins Talk Tech, episode 49. My name is Bryce. That character over there is Brent. And Brent suggested the idea or the topic title, Help Us Help You. Maybe even extend it a little further. Help us, help you, help us. So, no doubt he has some sound reasoning as to why he chose that. What were you thinking there, Brent?
Yeah, I don't know so much about sound reasoning.
We'll take looking over the
right, looking over the what's the app? YouTube Studio, YB Studio, whatever it's called, or who cares? Anyway, looking at our stats, and we're almost 1 year in. Are we 1 year in? A crazy growth that we've had, 17 followers. It's amazing, subscribers. But our watch time, like somewhere we're losing folks. And so that's why, to get right at the beginning here, maybe this is where what people are seeing. Subscribe. Even if you don't watch all of them, subscribe. Watch the whole thing. Let it play in the background. I mean, it's not going to hurt anybody. But aside from that, post a comment like the minute that you leave. Even if you don't want to say anything, just post a comment of the minute that you leave or the time, as it stands in its entirety, whatever. Because I'm curious as to where we losing folks. Because we have anywhere from 15 to 30-minute videos, most of them in the range of 30 minutes. And if the average watch time is in the 3-minute range, now granted, I know that I'm not always super exciting to listen to. I've heard myself. Yeah, thanks for getting to 3 minutes if there's that much. But so basically that's kind of the start of it. That's where it kind of comes from. And then on top of that, there's been a few that I've posted from other videos, some questions based on that particular video. And, it's fine. I enjoy answering that to the extent that I can. But there's not much we can do. I enjoy talking to Bryce. He tolerates it on the other side. So we
barely.
We just want to, barely, but still tolerates nonetheless. We want to see what we can do. I'm going to throw you in the bucket here. I would want to see what I can do to assist for whatever knowledge base I might have where I can. And maybe make this channel a little more interesting to some, to you guys that are watching, as well as possibly to others as well. So that's basically where it comes from.
I got
it. 3 minutes is when I see that, I'm like, 3 minutes? I wonder whether, I can't imagine they're hitting it in the middle and sticking around for 3 minutes. So somewhere in the first 3 minutes, basically around now, we're losing you.
So thanks for
before the
by,
topic really gets in.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching. But then that's pretty well before the topic even gets broached. Is that the right word? So you're missing out on some good stuff, some good quality content. Yes, we do tend to ramble. I've noticed that. My kids have certainly noticed that. But in the middle of all of that, there's some useful information. And again, even if you do maybe like what Bryce and I do, sometimes we'll just kind of start something and play it in the background while we're doing something else. That's always a possibility. And then you might catch something at that point. But it's not that we would want you to just click play and walk away. Not that I'm going to complain. But that's not what I'm saying. If you do, build a playlist so it runs through all of them. Maybe we should do that so they could just hit play at the beginning and it'll run through all of them. I mean, why not? That's where we can help you, right? Help you, help us.
The Twins Talk Tech podcast feed, I'm sure, would be helpful to a lot. I'm curious. I think whatever he said, sure. He being Brent, whatever you said. If people leave at different times, just simply posting a comment, first of all, for most people, they're not going to, because a lot of people probably, and this is a little bit out of ignorance, but also out of, I know half of the people I know, and they're probably not logged in to YouTube. And if they are, maybe they haven't gone through their settings, so they don't necessarily want their name associated with, not necessarily with us in that regard, but I mean, they would probably want to keep their anonymity, if you will. Why, again, I don't know, but it's, it's one of the reasons I don't comment is the internet is the internet and everything can be twisted in every single way, shape, or form. Maybe I had a question to something, and then someone else sees it, and then next thing you know, things are blown out of proportions or whatever. So, not everyone lives in my paranoid bubble, though. So there's that. You have to balance expectations on our side with our viewer side. I think the first question is why, for those that do watch us as much as they do, why? Why do you watch us? I have some friends here locally in California that watch. It's probably morbid curiosity more than anything. But one has already commented, and he took your side on a matter. I don't talk to him anymore. And I have some other friends.
He's now my best friend, by the way.
Yeah. Some other friends.
Dropped him, I and took him.
Some other friends who have watched and no longer watch, and I don't blame them. And I will be honest with you, I don't really watch these. I mean, we're the ones in the middle of the conversation, so why go back and watch myself? I'm not that narcissistic, maybe a little, but not that narcissistic. Do I have myself on a loop in the background? That'd be crazy. So if you're going to take the time to leave a comment, then you might as well say why. Snore, boring. Leave out the curse words or any type of, innuendos or anything that's inappropriate, that we don't want any of that. But if we talk too slow, if we pause too long, I can't say the whole.
I think he's talking about me over there. I don't appreciate it.
No, I'm talking about both of us. I watched a few videos the other day about a product I'm interested in. And I was almost this close to looking for that slow down button. Holy smokes. They were moving so fast. They were cutting so quick. And if that's what everyone's expecting, well, you're at the wrong place. That's more editing for me, is to speed things up and chop it up. Because I'm mainly the one who's editing all of this. And I kind of found a nice rhythm to where when Brendt finally gives me his video, I can have it edited fairly quick. But yeah, if you're expecting the same level of other webisodes, other things that you're seeing on Amazon, we're not overly dramatic about things. A couple reasons. Brent's not overly dramatic about anything. And I'm in an environment where I really can't be. I can't be terribly animated. Those that do know me, I can be a little interesting, but also annoying because of, talking fast, talking with a lot of energy. Not that I have a lot of energy, but talking with a lot of energy. So, I mean, the ability is there for us to adapt in that regard. But the whole point for me is this is just a conversation between us. If others want to sit in and ask questions based off of things, then by all means. Now, with that said, if someone listens to what we're talking about, like your Yeti video, that seems to be getting probably the most hits, and rightfully so. It's a popular product. It was a good video. People are responding and asking questions. If that's where, and I think this is what Brendt was implying earlier, if that's where you're hoping to see out of this channel, then by all means, we're willing to do it. I have access to a decent amount of stuff, by far not everything, but I have access to a lot of people who have access to things, so I can always ask questions and we can do research. Or if it's just general how-to items. I used to be into Linux, so I'm not really into that anymore, but Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, just general technology. I do security cameras, networking and things like that. So depending on the question and I think the seriousness of the question, like if it's a ridiculously hardcore how-to on how to set up a business IP from various locations and yet they're all using the same scheme. Okay, at that point, you probably should seek a professional. at least some sort of a consultant, and we might not be the best out for that. But
right, if you're trying to set up something that serious, and I know you were kind of mentioning something that's kind of in an extreme nature, even way before that. But if you're searching YouTube for something that affects you, especially on a business level, you may want to actually consult some professional help. Not that Bryce and I aren't professional in what we actually do for a living. Bryce does this type of stuff for a living. I do putz around on a keyboard, but database stuff. But yeah, you're going to want to seek someone else that can help you specifically, not just general. Because even other people that do YouTube videos, and maybe they do break it down, if you're not certain on how to do it to the point where you're seeking that information on the internet, including YouTube, you're going to get a better useful product in the end if you actually seek some professional help.
Yeah, if it's something on that level, if it's a whole business relying on the data or whatever else, because to some extent you want to cover yourself, and you also want to see if there's going to be any liability necessary. You're going to want to have a contract. But for general how-tos, general questions, a quick comment about something that you agree or disagree. But again, going back to if you're going to leave and take the time to make a comment, well, might as well fill that with some text. What do they call that? Constructive criticism is always welcome. And obviously, if it's the same thing by numerous people, then it could be accurate. I have plenty of friends, and I use that phrase very loosely, almost in air quotes, that tolerate me, as Brent says I do him. I don't tolerate Brent. I enjoy these. But outside of here, there are people who hang out with me mainly because of my wife, and I don't blame them by any means at all. So, if you're leaving because I'm annoying, state it. Tell Bryce to shut up a little bit. Can you give Bryce a time limit? Because if you look at, I find it funny actually, as I'm editing this video. So, of course, I've got the timeline and whatever else in the program, but I look at the wavelengths for the audio, and the amount of wavelengths of Brent and then mine is almost always like I'm almost 2/3 to 3 times more. 2/3 would be less. So I'm always like 2.5 to 3 times more than Brent's. And that's unfortunately my nature. Brent knows that from growing up, me just never being able to shut up and embarrassing him. But so that's good news for everyone. I'm now my age and haven't changed for that matter. But if that's the problem, then let me know. I'll try to be more concise. He'll try, and we'll try to be a little more on point. But we don't know without the data. YouTube's data is nice. It tells us people aren't hanging around for the whole video. Although I still think we have more watch time than I thought we were going to have. Let me be a little brutally honest about ourselves. To have 17 subscribers is kind of interesting. But then again, I look up something on YouTube and I find somebody and I'm watching the video. I'm like, this is terrible. It doesn't even answer the question that I have. He's rambling on about nothing. And he has like 3 seconds in the video where he actually talks on topic, but he has 17,000 subscribers. How? What? So that's another thing that baffles me. So if you're leaving to go to someone like that, well then, again, I stress if you're going to take the time to make a comment, because I don't know how long it takes to make a comment. I've never done it. Typically, if you're logged in, you do have the comment box, but if you're not logged in, then you got to log in. If you don't have an account, you got to create an account. I mean, it's kind of, there are some pain steps in the way, which I guess is good. It keeps the riffraff out, if you will, to some degree, but riffraff, is that used?
So I'd say the riffraff is actually, is definitely there and in force, but hopefully, I don't imagine the folks that are coming to watch two middle-aged white guys drone on about stuff would fall into the riffraff.
Only if we're on MSNBC, I guess, because that's where people like us thrive.
Or Fox News and so forth.
So, anyways, any other idea that pops in regarding that topic there, or you covered it all?
No, there may actually be other ideas. I made so I can pull it up, I suppose, a quick doc in Docs, Google Docs. I keep looking at myself for some dumb reason. as opposed to the camera or you. Normally I don't look at the camera, but I'll look at you, so there's that. But why do I keep looking over here? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, docs. You don't mind if I talk while I type, a bit like an old person. 49. So I'll just read through. A lot of this is what we've already said. First thing I have here is almost like a beg. I'm not begging. I'm not on my knees. Don't stop watching. So there's that. You think that'll be enough to work? Just simply stating, don't stop watching? At this point,
we can try.
Who made it 15 and a half minutes in? I don't know. So
wow. It seems so fast.
Yeah, I've got a very wishful thinking statement here. Watch the entire episode and then comment. Ooh, well, I'm asking a lot there. Bryce is just saying at any point, if you don't mind, make a comment. Because we do want to make things better. I want to get better. That was last year when we talked about why did we do this. One of the things was just like what I mentioned, I kind of pointed to myself when you're talking about going too slow and then pausing too long. I know I do that frequently because I'm kind of searching for the right words to say. Not super concerned about being clever, just want to state the right thing. And sometimes it doesn't come out as it should, at a speed that it should, and so people's heads start bobbing and they gotta bolt. And anyway, subscribe and see how much better we get. So, if you're curious, like Bryce said, that morbid curiosity, just go ahead and click subscribe and see if we look exactly the same over the course of the year, like my videos probably do. My environment here, I don't think I've made too much progress on what I've, except a little bar here. I haven't shown that yet in the video, but it's ugly as all get out because I just have wires and things clamped to it, but that's working out pretty good for me. I'm glad I did that. And if you haven't watched prior episodes to know what that bar is, too bad. What's that?
No, go back and watch them.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And then I have asked questions in the comments, and we might answer them. So regarding the comments, you had mentioned the Yeti video, and there's an individual there asking a question. We're not tech support, but we do want to help. So to the extent we can, to the extent we have time to do it, posting a comment is easy enough for me to do. I will probably make a video reply to that. Just another one, a more specific way to how do you connect it. And you'll see the phone, you'll see the connection. Because the way I did it before, it worked. It explains, I put pictures up of what the products are that I was talking about. But this way I'll just have everything there, sitting there, and you'll be able to see it. As well as I'm not going to go through all kinds of applications. I'll just use whatever is simple built into the iPhone. Because you don't need anything fancy if you're just trying to record audio or video. It'll work just fine straight in. If it's not doing that, there's some other problem. But anyway, we'll toss that on there. But if after a few tries back and forths, if we do that, at a certain point, kind of like that, consult a professional. Not that this is necessarily something where you need to consult a professional over, but whatever the question might be, we've kind of got to cut you loose because we're not full-time tech support. We've got jobs and we have families, and this isn't paying any bills for that matter. Over the past year, it's probably
creating them.
Added a few, yeah. So just keep that in mind if you do ask a question, especially let's say a year, 5 years from now, if we're still doing this, and there are hundreds of comments. If we ever get to that point, well, obviously we can't answer that many questions. Certainly not a problem now. But just keep that in mind. If something's not working for you that we're offering help on, just remember that it is just exactly that. We are offering help, and it doesn't always work. When you call tech support, what tech support asks you to do doesn't often help. Doesn't usually help. But they're still trying. So anyway, from that standpoint, if you, I keep going back to the comments because that's our only way with finding out from you guys. What is it that is our failing points that's consistent enough? What is it that you like? What topics do you think we're missing? Toss that stuff in the comments because then we can see that and maybe do something about it.
Fair enough. I think that's a good place to stop. We purchased here at work the Mevo, MEVO. And it's a pretty trippy little camera. It has not arrived yet. Hopefully it will be soon. I will be showing it off here on an episode, and then maybe doing a full episode of just kind of playing with it, testing it. But if you're watching this and you don't know what it is, take a look, Google it, Bing it, ask Jeeves, whatever you prefer to do. Mevo, M-E-V-O. And I think we got the Mevo Plus, which is the new version. Mainly on our side to do some interview style videos that were being requested. We get a lot of requests to do videos in our department, but then not all of them. They very rarely get followed through on. I think when people realize that they have to actually put work into it as well, besides just us doing it, then they're like, sheesh, never mind. Sorry. But hey, you know what? It's allowed me to get the stuff I have now. I broke a lamp the other day. We were doing these pictures. We have a person leaving the district, so they wanted to make a little book of the department pictures. So I was up on a ladder. I had to get down to move a lamp. I raised it, but when I did that, it took the cord off the ground, putting weight where it wasn't supposed to be. And I do have sandbags, but I forgot to bring them up. So it just slowly, and all 20 people that were watching it, not one person moved as it in slow motion fell. It hit the umbrella, but it was such a jarring hit that the filament inside broke. So I'm going to try to use that as a way to get some more better lights. I've got these guys right here, and they're definitely adequate for video. It almost fell over. But I've noticed when you have it more in the warmer tones, get a mild flicker. So that's kind of annoying. But so, anyways, if I'm able to get some new lights, I'll have a little show and tell about those as well. So that should be it. That will wrap us up today. Hopefully, we'll get some more unboxing and some more reviews. I've got a couple coming up. No promises, but Brent's gonna have a couple that he told me he's going to be uploading, so we'll see. And until then, episode, what did I say it was? 49?
49, I believe.
All right, we'll see you in 50. Nope, you'll see us. I'll see him, and he'll see me. Yeah. You'll see
all of the above
us.
And part of it. Yep.
All right. Ciao.
See you.